What can I get from a car wreck? That's the simplest way to say it. People want to know, hey, I got in a car wreck. I should get some money. Well, that may be true and it may not be true, but it has to be based on the law. And that's where people get somewhat confused. Listen, yes, insurance that's purchased by other people that cause your accident and your damages is there to cover you. Now it's only there to cover you for how much they purchased, and if you don't purchase any, then above that, there's nobody going to swoop in and take care of you. And I can't do anything about that, so remember that. What happens is you get injured. The most likely thing that happens to you initially is that you are evaluated by a healthcare provider. Either an ambulance driver takes you to the hospital, you take yourself, or you eventually go to a doctor afterwards when the majority of the injuries come on, which are usually 24 or 48 hours after the accident. So this happens and you have what? You have medical bills, bills that are owed by you that have to be repaid. That's part of the damages that you can recover from a car wreck in Texas. Now, okay, fine, you've got medical bills, but we have to look within the medical bills. With a bill comes a record. A record documents the visit that they charged you for, and it says what you were complaining of, what the injuries were, what they said should happen next, what tests should be run, and what, if anything else, you should expect to have from this. And so that's very important as well. It's why I have to send not only your bills, but I have to send the insurance company your records. They look at these records and say, oh, I can see that broken bone there, or I can't see anything but a soft tissue neck strain. And so that relates to the value. Now, why do cases settle in car wreck cases for over the medical? It's because you can recover in Texas for pain and suffering and mental anguish, which are combined together in most instances. But most of the time, you don't really have mental anguish from a car accident. Yeah, you were scared for a minute, but think about it this way. It's not that I don't feel sorry for you. It's that the 12 people in Smith County are deciding your fate. And if you don't think they're giving you money for mental anguish, then you're not getting it. And so that's part of my evaluation. That forms my experience over 30 years. And so when I look at a case, what I try to do is write your demand. That is, if you've hired me, I've helped you treat, you've gone through everything that a doctor said you should do, you're finished, I've got your bills and your records, and then I'm going to write your demand. A demand is going to be a letter, but it's really a report, several pages. I send to the insurance company. I lay out the medical bills. I lay out the facts that support that the pain you were in. I point to places in the records where it happened, where it continued, and if it still exists today, where it still exists today. Now, there's one other element of damage called impairment. If you cannot do the things that you could do prior to the accident physically, then that's called impairment. You can recover for that as well. Most of the time, unless something's really happened to you, your activities may be modified, but they're not really rising to the level that a jury sees that and awards a lot of money for impairment. Insurance companies know this as well. The other thing that some of you may have, which is lost wages. Now, yes, you can recover for lost wages, but you have to prove them. And guess what? No surprises here. The insurance company wants documentation of the loss. What does that mean? Well, we have to provide convincing proof. That is, a previous paycheck or two, a previous tax return for the year prior or two, to show that there was a history of this kind of earning ability. It was interrupted for a period of time and you didn't get paid for that period of time, okay? Because if you don't show that, they're not going to include that in their evaluation. Many times clients say to me, hey, what about my lost wages? And I said, insurance companies don't break them down. They don't send an offer that says, here's for medical, here's for lost wages. They send a single global offer. It's up to me, your lawyer, to write the good demands, to include the documentation that makes it crystal clear where they can't ignore it. And so that's what I offer. That's what I do for my clients. Everybody who's ever watched my podcast, been to my website, they know the one thing about me that's different than most lawyers is I write every demand because I know how important it is being an insurance defense lawyer for 20 years to provide the insurance company adjuster with the only information they have about you. And if I control that information, chances are the offer that you get is going to be higher than if somebody mails a packet of information with no organization, no suggested outline or analysis of what it says, and hopes for a good settlement. Thank you.